This is my first King's Raid video, but I've actually been playing King's Raid for about a year now. King's Raid is an anime MMORPG. It is a free-to-play game, and it is a game that is pretty free-to-play friendly. It's not a total pay-to-win game. That stated, if you spend money on it, it will give you certain advantages. But it's not really that bad. You don't have to spend that much money on it. For the first several months that I played King's Raid, I didn't spend any money on it at all. Since then, I have spent a little bit of money, but not that much. On average, I've only spent around $15 a month. I don't mind spending a little bit of money on games that I do enjoy, but you do have to be a little bit careful because some of these games can really suck you into spending a ton of money. I have been able to get to the point where I can now do over 100 billion in damage to a world boss, particularly world boss number 2, Protianus. I'm going to demonstrate that in this video. So this is a guide to how you can do pretty well against a world boss without having to spend too much money. So these are the characters that I use. The first is Kahlua. Kahlua is a healer, but the reason why I use Kahlua is not just for his healing abilities, but also for his abilities to stun. Stunning is quite useful against this world boss, because when you can stun him and get him to go into the down position, you can do a lot more damage. Reyna is my main DPS hero for this battle. She has a 3-star unique weapon. I only have 2 heroes with a 3-star unique weapon and 1 hero with a 4-star unique weapon. The 4-star belongs to Marianne, but I'm not using her since this boss is much more sensitive to physical damage than magical damage. I'm also using Annette. She is well known for her ability to remove all negative effects from the entire party and heal the party, which is quite useful against this boss. Lavril, she is technically a healer, although she is more useful for augmenting the attack of your main DPS character. I'm also using Lavril. Shia, I'm using Shia. I have a 3-star unique weapon on Shia. You'll also notice that my CC resist stat on Shia is 1040, and that's because I have been recommended to use a high amount of CC resist on Reddit if you have a unique weapon of 3 stars or less. Shia is a healer and a buffer. I'm also using Cecilia, which is a relatively new character. She is my second main DPS character. She is useful. She also augments the DPS of other characters. I'm also using Mei. She is a healer that can stun, just like Kahlua. And I'm also using Loman as my tank. Loman has been a very useful tank against this boss. In fact, my DPS just about doubled when I started using Loman as a tank. I have heard that Glenways might be an even better tank against this boss, but I don't have Glenways. I'm in the process of obtaining her from the inn, so I haven't tried her yet. Without further ado, here is the battle. Protianus, of course, is the world boss that resembles Neptune or Poseidon. And my main DPS character, like I said before, is Reyna, and the artifact I have equipped for her is the Brazier of Elf. Now that might seem like an unusual artifact to equip, but it's actually quite useful because that artifact gives you a certain percentage chance of gaining mana every time the hero attacks. Now, Reyna, she has very good attack speed, and part of the reason why her DPS is so high is her ability to use her S1 constantly. But what I do is I actually choose her on her tier 3 perks. I actually choose her tier 3 light perk rather than her tier 3 dark perk. Her tier 3 light perk actually raises the mana cost by 1, but increases the damage that her S1 does. A lot of people take her S1 dark perk, and that one will eliminate the cooldown so that she can spam her S1 even faster. But I have found that using this Brazier of Elf and using her tier 1 light perk really seem to boost her DPS, and shout out to QX Games. QX Games is the channel which I got this idea from. They are a very good King's Raid tutorial channel, and equipping Reyna with the Brazier of Elf against this particular world boss and using her S1 light perk really do boost the DPS I get against this world boss. Also, you notice I'm not using Roy. I did try using Roy, and Roy is one of the recommended characters at the beginning. And Roy is a character that everybody has. He's one of the first 4 characters that everybody gets. And he is known to be pretty good against this world boss, but I only have his 0-star unique weapon. And in order to use Roy, I had to switch him for someone else. And so I tried taking out Mei, and I tried taking out Kahlua. And as it turns out, it worked out better that I just either leave in both Mei or Kahlua. Both Mei and Kahlua are healers that are capable of stunning the enemy, and as you can see right now, the world boss is stunned. He's back up again, but when you knock him down, you want to knock this world boss down as much as possible, because that's when he takes the most damage. You'll also notice that I have pretty much all the characters on auto, with the exception of Xia, which I am using manually. Xia is a healer that also provides pretty strong buffs for the entire team, and the thing about Xia is, even though she's a pretty powerful character, she does have very long cooldowns. The biggest way you can shorten her cooldowns is by getting a high-star unique weapon. I have a 3-star unique weapon on Xia. Now, you notice earlier I mentioned that I have over 1,000 in CC resist, and that is recommended on Reddit if you have a 3-star or less on Xia for her unique weapon. And the reason for that is she does create certain stacks or trances, and after she stacks up 3 trances, her spells get even stronger. But if you don't have a lot of CC resist, the enemy can often dispel those trances. So if you have a 4-star or a 5-star unique weapon on Xia, you don't need as much CC resist, because she will have slower cooldowns and it's not as important. They say then you should focus more on attack speed, but I am still, with the 3-star unique weapon, having to focus a lot on CC resist. But what I try to do is I try to use her 2nd skill and her 3rd skill as much as possible. Those are the skills that do buff the other characters quite a lot. Her 1st skill is probably her most powerful healing skill, and I do use her S1 skill, her 1st skill, but I try not to use it unless I see that my party has taken a significant amount of damage. So I try to save that skill for when I actually need it, like right there. So that's why I am using Xia manually. I also have Xia equipped with the Pocket Watch artifact, which does reduce her cooldowns a little bit. One artifact I am not using is the Blessing of Earth. There are some people that use the Blessing of Earth artifact on this world boss. What that does is it increases your character's attack by 40% when there is only one enemy. The trouble with this world boss is sometimes there is more than one enemy. The Blessing of Earth artifact does work well against the Mountain Fortress world boss, since he always fights alone, and some people think that the Blessing of Earth works pretty well against Protianus, but in my personal experience, I find that it's better off not using it. So as you can see, my strategy of using 4 priests and perhaps 5 healers, if you want to count Annette, has dealt over 121 billion in damage to Protianus. He is about to kill us all off right here. Yeah, there we go. But not before I dealt 121 billion in damage. So there you go, folks. A very healer-heavy way of doing a lot of damage to Protianus. So if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, click the bell icon for notifications, and together we shall take over the world. You can also catch me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat and Twitch at Zorkvid123, and I will be streaming King's Raid on Twitch very soon.